a journey into the medieval world of the illuminated manuscript. It was during the Middle Ages that a remarkable feat was accomplished in France around 1400. The three Limbourg brothers, Herman, Paul, and Johann, from the Netherlands produced illuminations and miniature paintings for several prayer books called Books of Hours, and each page is full of magnificent paintings, edge drawings, gold leaf, and calligraphy. A few years ago in the Netherlands, the Manuel van Limbourg House and Museum opened in Nijmengen. Now you can access the brothers' medieval workshop. It's a window into the world in which they lived and celebrates their lives. The Limbourg brothers had to overcome many challenges. What caused them to thrive during this medieval period? They lived in tumultuous times and had to overcome many challenges, from wars to the plague, which is also known as the Black Death, the pandemic of their time that affected daily life. The books of hours they illuminated are the best representation of life in the Middle Ages, how people worked, dressed, and lived. These books were devotional books with calendars and prayers for daily remembrances, and they were highly treasured by the wealthy for their beautiful calligraphy and artwork. The Limbourg brothers' patron was the Duc de Berry, the brother of the King of France. The Duke commissioned their most celebrated book, Le Très de Duc de Berry, which today is a part of the collection at Château de Chantilly in France, and unfortunately is rarely exhibited. The brothers' impact on the art world was not fully appreciated until the modern era. The advent of color photography and printing of the books of hours now makes it possible for us to see their incredible artistic talents and creativity. With the help of experts in illumination, calligraphy, and painting, we'll explain how these incredible books were done and what techniques they used. Seeing what they accomplished in their short lives can be an inspiration for artists and calligraphers today. The three brothers grew up in the Netherlands. They were born in Nijmengen around 1380. The city is situated on a hill overlooking the Vaal River. During the 13th century, this waterway was a busy route for trade and commerce, and today, riverboats still constantly pass the old town. On top of the hill in the Valkhof Park are the ruins of a castle, which in medieval times played an important role in the lives of artisans. Today, very little is left of this period for visitors to see. A short 5-minute walk from the park sits the Limbourg family workshop. It's located in the same location the original Limbourg family home once stood. The museum conservator, Peter van der Heijden, describes the area.
Here we are at the Burgstraat, which is the oldest street in the Netherlands. This is a Roman road. It connects the old Roman military camp with the old Roman city. And in the Middle Ages, this was the most important spot of the town. They worked for the churches and for the castle here. And this is the place where the Van Limburgs learned their craftsmanship and grew up. It's a 19th century building, but underneath there is still a reminder of the Middle Ages, so we can take a look. And this is the medieval part of our museum. This is a 14th century cellar, so this is 650 years old. And this is the footprint of their family workshop. It's nice to walk around here because here you can almost smell the 14th century. You can see it's a big cellar, so it must have been a big house on top of this. But this is what remains with a lot of, well, medieval stones we found here when we cleaned up this place.
This is the place they developed some of their artistic talents and skills required to create these magnificent books of hours. This workshop environment where they were raised prepared them for working in France. Much of the family's work was done for the castle in Nijmengen. Their father was an artisan as well, a sculptor. Their uncle, Johann Malval, was a well-known painter in the French courts. It was a family with strong artistic skills.
Johann Mauwal, who was their master and the brother of their mother, and the first one who went to Paris. And this one is in the Louvre.
After their father's death around 1398, the young brothers were sent to France to live with their uncle Johann Mauwal. During this time, they were apprentices for their uncle, most likely learning goldsmithing, calligraphy, and painting techniques such as painting in miniature. The patrons and the money to fund major artworks was in the French monarchy. Their uncle was instrumental in getting them high visibility illumination work. The brothers came into their own artistic prominence after 1400 in France. Still in their late teens and early 20s, they developed relationships with patrons. One of them, Philip the Bold, the Duke of Burgundy, employed Paul and Johann to perfect the stories of a beautiful and notable Bible. This moralized Bible was a work in progress that they were hired to complete. Medieval illuminator and calligrapher Randy Asplund explains the layout of the Bible.
They got snagged up to do a Bible moralisée, which is a moralized Bible, meaning there's columns of text and columns of illustrations, and you have to fill in all these tiny little illustrations down every page, and it's a huge undertaking. And they never even finished it. The patron died.
During this time, one incident highlights their rise in stature and value. On a trip in May of 1400 to visit family in Nijmengen, Herman and Johann on the journey passed through Brussels, where they were taken prisoner and held for ransom. The young brothers had become pawns in a medieval game. To see the next segment of this program, click on the link on the screen, or you can find it in the show notes below. Please subscribe to this channel and like and share this documentary.